Morning. Today is Tuesday, July 15th, 2025. Present with us is the road crew and Supervisor Bear and his assistant Dylan. You want to lead us off, Bear, on what's going on with your department, please?
Sure. But I did bring last week's agenda just in case, or 2 weeks ago, just in case I missed anything, but been fairly quiet-ish as far as the complaint issues, just some grading, a couple drainage issues, nothing super major going on. A bunch of requests for grading on non-maintained roads, like Cataract and up behind the tunnels mine, a couple other places. They're drivable. I've been on them all within the last month. They're not that bad. But we do have some anticipation to get up on Cataract to do some cleanup work and do some spot blading where we can. There's just no material up there to blade that whole road. It's just a rock road. Other than that, and the guys up north, we got that approach done on Holmes Gulch at the intersection with South Hills. Looks really good. So that should help alleviate some problems there. Been cleaning out a lot of culverts, catch basins, doing some spot blading where needed, as time and weather allows. We did also get that washout area at the landfill or the dump site up there in Montana City fixed for Mike. So it shouldn't have any more issues there. Boulder guys got the fence out of the shop put in, doing some tree trimming and cleanup and a bunch of patching. Today we're just working on going through some of our material there at the yard, running it through the grizzly with the weather the way it is. And
Where's your pothole stuff taking place? At the
all
shop?
over, no, all over the roads. Just
Okay.
been out patching holes. Whitehall kind of hit and miss on how much we can get done. Still got one guy down there. I'll give you an update on Easton after we turn off the video, but did finally finish our spring grading. We went up Paul Gulch a little farther than we normally do because it had some 10, 12, 18-inch ruts running all the way down and got that fixed up. He is doing a bunch of pothole repair down there as well. And then we've had a bunch of signs. I got to get with Tom. We had about half a dozen of them. Looks like somebody just drove over them for the fun of it.
Oh, nice.
So see if we can talk to him. Probably not much they can do, but always worth a conversation. Just some other quick items. We got on here the MAG dust control policy. We've talked about this over the last few years and not real sure how we want to proceed, if we continue a cost share or if we run it through the county and do dust for people, or I printed off a copy of Lewis and Clark's application and policy. They don't do any dust oil for residents. Residents are required to fill out an application and then schedule their own dust oil with a contractor. And then the county will go out and do the prep work for them prior. Looking around the state, it's pretty variable on how most of them do, but there's only a couple counties I could find that are still doing a cost share. Most of them either have an application where you apply to the county and then the county will charge you the full amount and go out and apply it for you. Others are doing similar to Lewis and Clark. Just with the cost of it now, you're averaging about $1.30 a foot, when 5 years ago it was about $60 a foot. It's not something that we're going to be able to cost share, I think, anymore at all, especially if we're doing any of our own dust oil for roads that we want to not have to grade as much. But just starting off conversation, I'm going to do some more research and run some numbers and see what it's going to look like and how we want to proceed going into next year. But another fun one for you guys is Sawmill Road.
Deborah Gay joined the meeting.
Had a lot of questions, comments, and concerns on that road for years. Through some research, Ladena is of the opinion that that is not a county road.
Sawmill.
Yep. And so that's one that we've put a lot of mag on through the years. We've snow plowed and graded and done a lot of work on through the years. So we need to figure out kind of a plan to withdraw from that road, if that's what we're going to do. If it's not being a county road, we don't want to be putting money into it.
Yeah, I'm wondering, is it Ken McGritt that's got ties to that road? I'm trying to think. of this.
Ken does through, Bompart. Ryan Warner is one that's been pushing for an R&D up there for a long time, didn't ever get the backing. So I think he's one that would be good to reach out to and kind of explain the situation. And it may be coming down to a public meeting and informing the residents that here soon there's not going to be any maintenance on that road.
Yeah, it might not hurt to give them a heads up and say, this is what we found. If you guys want to do your own investigation, bring us forth something that says otherwise,
Yeah.
you know, before we just stop.
And that's, I don't want to just say, sorry, have a nice day. We'll slowly withdraw from it and give some notice. And
Give them an
Give them-
opportunity to find something that we don't have, I guess, or we can't find.
And Ladena spent quite a bit of time. She found some old maps from early 1900s, I think they were, that do show them. But there's no reference anywhere to any resolutions, anything of it being a county road. There's no documentation on the road.
Is it on Samson's road list? It is on that one.
Yeah. So that's the other hang up with it. But that one I think is, it was not properly petitioned. Right. So.
I think according to Ladena, some of that wasn't done according to the right law,
Right.
is what I'm being told.
They have to be petitioned, reviewed, adopted by resolution.
Three things, yeah.
And it was not done that way. So we'll work on that. I'll reach out to Ryan and Ken and a couple people I know up there and just see, provide them with what we're at. And I think most of the ones I know up there, they're trying to get it to where it is an RMD. They don't want it to be a county road. So
I've heard both ways.
I have to. I've heard a lot of people complaining about how bad of a job we do up there.
Well, they didn't complain to me about how bad of a job
Oh.
you did. It's the fact that when you do it, it's really good, and then a week later, it's back to what it was, which is the road guys can probably explain it better than I can, but that's what they're saying.
If they get a week out of it, they're lucky.
Yeah, they're not saying
2
it's
days
a
later.
bad job, they're saying
Yeah.
it doesn't.
The
It
number one
doesn't last any
contributor to
more than
that
a
is
week.
driving habits.
Well,
Like, you can go to every corner and hill there and see where people are pushing on their gas pedal, and that's why that road falls apart.
The material of the road, is it all?
Yeah, the
decomposed?
material, no, it's got some sort of gravel on it.
Yeah, it's good gravel. It's just kind of this time of year, especially when things get dry, there's nothing that's gonna hold together, so.
Right.
With good mag on it, good blading, it does pretty good. The drainage on that road is really bad as well. Another one, the other end of the county, Sheep Camp Road, I had a gentleman reach out to me. He bought a chunk of land way up past where we maintain on Sheep Camp. He's not asking for maintenance from us, but he's wanting to know what the steps and possibility of him doing some minor improvements on the road. Where it's not a maintained road. We kind of agreed like doing it to county standards was not
Not
really feasible.
Yeah.
So if we just wanted to write up some sort of MOU or something that gave him permission to do basic maintenance and improvements, as long as it didn't infer onto the county. I can get with Steve on that if you gentlemen are good with that.
I think Lewis and Clark County has a permit, if you wanna check with them. They have a permitting process. I heard that from somebody that wants to do the same thing with that way upper end of Holmes Gulch.
Yeah.
And he lives in our county, or he built a house in our county, but I think he accesses it mostly from the other side, but
Right.
he does drive that, and he's asking the same thing.
Yeah.
He said he checked with Lewis Clark County, and they have a permitting process of some kind. I haven't seen it.
Yeah, I was just on their site again this morning and all I saw was their encroachment and driveway permits, but I'll look again. I'll check with Kevin and see if there's something I'm missing.
That's just what I heard. I don't know if there's one or not.
Yeah,
I think there is, only because we collect some taxes that we give to Lewis and Clark County. For the homes folks that comes over into Limetown. So some of those residents are using homes votes to go to the, and we collect taxes for them and then pay Lewis and Clark County for road maintenance at that. On that link, whatever that is, but anyway, I think the last time I talked to Amy over there, there is some type of cleaning thing in there. That's why they can collect that extra money.
we'll check into
Just
that.
FYI, I just,
And then I mentioned a little bit before, but Mactors and Mako are teaming up to meet with the state. They'll be meeting this Thursday in Helena, to talk about responsibility of maintenance of stop signs, road signs within the state right away on county roads that intersect. They're also gonna be talking about state secondaries and non-maintained secondaries and the funding avenues and how much, the requirements of getting those secondaries to a certain level before the state takes over those maintenance responsibilities. The big concern with Mactors is if it starts with stop signs, it won't affect us, but other counties have concerns of, ditches and drainage there as culverts and cattle guards and other structures that are on county roads that intersect state highways. There's not a black and white written policy that the state can present at this time. That's not very uniform across the state as to how they're handling this. And they're wanting to get that cleaned up. The state's been very receptive so far about meeting and hammering out some details and getting things worked out in a agreeable manner. They're not being defensive on this. And the other part is we've been told a lot that there's all this statute about state secondaries and non-maintained secondaries and county requirements, yet nobody's been able to produce those state statutes. So they're wanting to get some clarification on that. Unfortunately, I won't be able to attend that meeting, but most of our Mactors board and some of the Mako representatives will be there. So we'll see how that turns out. I don't think I had much else. I didn't mention in that email from a couple weeks ago about Permazyme as another dust treatment that we've been exploring options with for roads. They're claiming a 10-year lifespan on the material. It's about $8,500 a mile. I've talked to a couple counties and they says it does work fairly good if you have the right material down. But they've never seen anywhere close to 10 years. It says they're getting maybe 2 or 3 between having to go out and grade it. It is not a dust killer. It does reduce the amount of dust, but you're still going to have dust. They sent us a sample kit so we can take some samples and send them some soil samples to see from a couple of various roads just to see if it's a viable option or not. It may be worth trying on a couple roads. They said if we do 2 miles, so 17,000, that they would send somebody out here to pretty much oversee the project to make sure we're doing it right. And that's very simple process. You just kind of windrow the road up, soften it up, mix the stuff in your water truck, spray it out, blend it back and forth a few times, then roll it back out. But I don't want to spend that kind of money on something that's not going to hold up for a few years and save us that kind of money.
As you can imagine, we're probably a little gun shy about snake oil.
Yep. And this one has been around for about 30 years. So this is not a new product. A lot of counties across the country have used it. I know firsthand it's very popular in Utah. But it is not a dust suppressant. It's a soil stabilization product. So you will still have dust with this product. But if it reduces the amount of times you have to grade a road in a 3 to 5 year span, it may be a worthwhile investment. But I think going into some of these with the right mindset, it'd be worth trying some, but I'm not going to just say, let's go do it until we do a lot more research on it either. So
Do they warrant the product?
nobody will. Warranties don't exist.
Do you know if you can put a dust product on that product then?
I do not know. And that's a good question.
That'd be a good question for them, because if you do it in front of houses and people are still getting dust, they wanna buy their own mag, is that gonna kill what you just did, or is there a product that will mix with it fine? Would that be, because if you can't put dust product in it, you wouldn't wanna put it in front of anybody's houses or where people are gonna gripe about the dust, because we'd have a conflict right there.
Yeah.
And I think before we use it, we need to have that conversation about where and
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
what the samples come back with the dirt and what
Yeah.
they say about it.
And I'm going to go, I think it was either Lump or Clancy Creek, because they claim that it works fantastic on what's great. Company does.
That would be nice, cause that's a lot.
Well, there's plenty of decomposed granite up there.
Yeah, they claim that it works fantastic on that, but. There was some contradictive statements, and then, like I said, talking to other counties, there's, some guys love it and some guys won't use it again, so. It is environmentally safe, it's a natural enzyme, it's not a chemical. But. Just another. Avenue to try and save some money.
Good deal. It'd be nice to, if there was any local counties out here that were using it, we could go look at it too, see
Yeah.
what exactly it does.
Broadwater's used it for a few years now, so I talked to TJ quite a bit. He's the one that's he's a point flip on whether it works or not.
Okay. Probably works here, doesn't work there, and probably traffic and everything, so many variables.
Yep. That's about all I got for today. Just trying to. Keep things moving.
Trying to get caught up from your vacation.
Yeah. These guys probably got more done while I was gone.
Probably so. You gonna have your Durapatcher out at some point? Actually, I need you to go look at the solid waste site up here and see what you think. All the sides are breaking off and it's just getting to be a big pit. I don't know if you've been up there lately up in.
Yeah,
Boulder.
Durapatch isn't gonna fix that.
It's not gonna cut, that's not gonna
It'll
fix
just
it.
break out again.
So we just need to re-chip seal it, or?
I think it needs to be tore up and redone personally, but. It's, it goes back to all of our roads, including those ones were never built wide enough with an actual shoulder. And those trucks running up and down that edge just blows it apart.
Yeah,
And you're not gonna fix it until you lay it all back up.
Yeah, the thing that sucks too is once that stuff's kind of fractured and broke apart, all that's fractured and stuff that's broke is still underneath that, no matter if you re-chip seal or not. Just kind of mirrors right back through here.
is that something we could coordinate with, Corbin Road chip seal? Let's do a section of that to get the worst part of it out, or is that too far apart to be able to coordinate those
That's
together?
a long distance to go, cause it's a lot of mobilization. It'd be a whole different day project.
Okay,
But it's not gonna do any good to chip seal it if we don't fix it.
right, yeah. Well, it might be just something we take the chip seal off there temporarily until we can get it chip sealed again in a different year or whatever. And that would be a budgetary thing for the solid waste. That would be on you guys.
Honestly, in my opinion, I think just tearing off that chip seal and turning it back to gravel and shaping it, and hanging it every spring would be
Mag would be good.
better, yeah.
Okay. We'll
That's,
talk to Mike about that, but it's getting pretty bad out there. We need to just tear it out of there.
yeah. And without seeing what tools we need, say yes or no, it's gonna be great, but
I think it's just decomposed granite out
yeah,
there.
well, I think it's mine tailings
Is it?
from all the Chinese diggings and whatnot.
Hmm.
There's probably some gravel under there at some point, but
Maybe. Yeah, we'll have to take a look at it. I was just curious about the chip seal part, so.
yeah, without, like all of our roads, without fixing the problem underneath, it's not gonna matter what we do on the surface.
Right. And that's been there a long time. I mean, it lasted a long time, so I have no issues with it, how it lasted. It's just wore out. Those are heavy trucks eating it up back and forth.
If we had millings coming in that we had a surplus of, we could either mill what's out there, just the shoulders, like Dylan's talked many times about getting the same mill machine we used on Corbin and just milling the outside 8 feet, because it's usually that edge that's gone bad, and then laying it back out and doing chip seal over the top, but those machines are not cheap and we don't have any millings coming in, and
Right.
but we really, with our new road standards we're working on, that's something I'm really pushing for, is to widen the requirements of our roads to include the shoulder, so that we don't have the blowouts like this on new roads. It's not gonna do anything to save us on past roads, but
How is your chip seal project in Corbin coming? Is it
pretty good.
ordering?
We got everything kind of coordinated. Now it's just kind of getting everything here.
Do you know what's up past, the last houses up there? I'm just wondering, is it enough trouble to try to figure out if we can short from Zitnik's house up to the mine entrance? Is there anything between there that's gonna be affected if we don't do that section, besides the people that go past that, I guess? Is it worth just doing it to the mine entrance? Cause I have a feeling if we short it, people are gonna be screaming.
Well, right now we have it planned to the mine
Right.
road like it was before.
Yep.
The only thing that's in between is French's shop,
Okay,
which is not on the road.
right.
And that section of road, I think, is a pretty good driving surface.
Yeah, and I think just because it was our error in tearing that thing up and making it into a mess, that we need to just put it back the way it was. And I have a plan to get up there and talk to those people and say, we got it back to where it was. Future, it's gonna be your road. If you want a hard surface, you guys are gonna have to take care of it, because we're not gonna be able to maintain this road the way you want it. So, you know, this going back to dirt was kind of a preview for you, you know, in 8 or 10 years when this new chip seal fails. You guys have to figure it out, unless something changes with the county budget, because we
Yeah.
can't afford to maintain a solid surface road
Mhm.
anywhere in the county, really. So I think people need to understand that the county doesn't have the finances to keep these maintained. If they want them at that level, then they're gonna have to pitch in. And we're talking to Steve right now to figure out if the RMDs, because we've been running under this assumption that the RMDs cannot share maintenance with the county. That's illegal, but everything I read, it says that the county commission can decide what the RMDs pay for, and what the county pays for, kind of a shared thing. And so we're trying to get that all shaken out right now, because if we can share, to me, that's beneficial. They can pay for the hard surface part, we can still plow, we can still, whatever we want to do to that road, and then they go above and beyond that with their RMD. I mean, that to me is very
Yeah, that's awesome.
beneficial.
Yeah.
And anybody that wants to do an RMD, they wouldn't lose our portion of maintenance, the tough stuff like snow removal and all that. They would just be paying for their upgrade essentially.
Mhm.
So that's kind of where we're at right now, but.
And there's some that go both ways in the county now even.
Yeah.
Right, there's
Some of them, the county shares with them, some of them, they're just
on
on
their own, right?
Yeah.
And I think the ones that are on county roads or roads that, that lead to public lands, or most of those are county roads anyway. Those are the ones that probably we should share, but that's a decision we can make on each and every one. We can put right in the resolution. The county does this, the RMB does this, and I think that would be beneficial, but I definitely want to have a talk with the Corbin people up there after we get it back to where it was and say, we got it back, it's gonna last, who knows how long. If you want it to be a hard surface road, you guys are gonna have to figure it out. Because as soon as it fails again, what you saw this summer is probably what you're gonna have if the county's gotta maintain that
Mhm.
within our budget.
at that level.
Exactly, so.
Well, and Corey, I've laid that groundwork for you up here.
Oh, okay, who's this?
It's Deb.
Deb, hey Deb, I was wondering who,
Hey,
Ron, good, I'm glad you're here. You've already laid that groundwork a little bit for me?
I have,
Awesome. How are
so, but
people taking it?
I mean, I think you're gonna have a split group, right? I mean, there are people that are like, oh yeah, you know, that makes sense if we want to maintain it a particular way. And I think your discussion just now of splitting, right, things makes a whole lot of sense. So that might help people a little bit. But then you've got people that, I mean, they won't even pay their, you know, dues for the subdivision to maintain the roads within the subdivision. So I think you're going to have a mixed group.
And I'll have to check with the data, but it's like 65% on, if we drew the boundaries and everybody in there voted on it, I think we have to have 65%, I think.
That's correct.
It's not half and
I mean, I
half.
think, yeah, I mean, I think you might get there. I mean, our subdivision, you're going to get all of us. So you're going to have, you know, 10 lot votes that are going to be yes, because for us, it's a bigger deal, I think, than some of the people that live kind of more up atop of the Meadowlark subdivision or
Right.
Song, you know, Meadows
Yeah.
and those guys up there. I don't think they feel the dust as much as our subdivision does, but I think anybody along Corbin, you're going to easily have their vote. But yeah, I think there's going to be a mixed bag up higher.
Well, that's something we'll have a conversation about once we get the chip seal done and we kind of settle out a little bit. I'll make plans to have a meeting up there somewhere, see who comes to the meeting,
Yeah.
and try to get that conversation started, because as soon as that road starts to fail again, then we're gonna have the same problem we had this year, so.
Yeah, I mean, you could do the meeting at the community center down here.
Yeah.
So.
Yep, absolutely.
But
How's
it sounds like the
everything
chip
going up
seal's
there, Deb?
going forward. did you guys get an engineer and everything out here? I missed, sorry, I missed a few meetings. I had a family emergency, but, sounds like you guys are set on going forward with the chip seal then.
Yeah, I think the service turned out after we mag chloride it the last time. It's like perfect, ready for chip seal. Is that right, guys? I guess I'm speaking out of turn here.
Yeah, it's in good shape. We had product experts from the emulsion company come out and look at it to verify that the sub base looked good and that the soil would handle the different oil. So,
That's part of the reason we haven't done it so far, Deb, is just getting our ducks in a row, and also the mag chloride's gotta settle in good so we don't conflict with the new emulsions with mag chloride.
Right. Yeah, well, certainly mag chloride helped with the dust for a while, but you know, it's kicking up pretty good again, so.
Yeah, I've heard.
But
people
today's
say it's getting
nice.
dusty. Yeah, nothing like it was without anything on it, but it's still, yeah, it's starting to work back up.
Yeah. Cool, well, sounds good. Sounds like you're all set and they'll do it when you're ready. So I guess if you could give us a little bit of a heads up, just so we know when you're doing that, it'd be nice to let everybody up here know.
You have a tentative.
early to mid-August.
Okay. Cool, thanks, Bear.
Yep.
And when we get a real date, Deb, we'll try to spread that word around.
Okay.
To the
Yeah, I mean,
folks
Corey,
there.
you're more than welcome to, you know, text me or email me when you have a more firm date, but yeah, it'd be great to let folks know.
Yep. Will do. It'll be
Okay.
construction season like you've seen on the interstate, but it'll be on your local road.
Yeah, exactly. All right,
Thanks.
sounds good, and then I'll get all my windshields replaced.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's been a bad deal.
That's okay. I mean, it hasn't been too bad for us, but we do need a couple of new windshields, so we'll wait till the chip seal settles down.
Yeah, wait till all that's knocked off there for sure.
Yeah. All right. Well, I
Thanks, Dan.
appreciate you guys.
You bet. Have a good day.
All right. You too. Bye-bye.
Sorry.
No, I was gonna say, ask any more discussion.
Oh, we got a guy, we've talked about this in the past, I think, Bear, and this was before you have a speed limit sign going, let's say it'd be northbound on Clancy Main Street by the school. There's the post office in the parking lot there, and I remember it's like no place to put a sign, or there's no sign there.
Yeah, we've talked about it.
I can't remember.
Because every road coming into that intersection has a 15-mile-an-hour sign.
Mhm.
State law
Coming
is,
into it, but not going out of it,
you're
right?
not required to, because state law, if you're, whatever the road, if you leave a road that's not, and go onto one that's not posted, it's whatever that speed limit was that you came off of. So since we have 15-mile-an-hour coming into that intersection in all four directions,
So do we, okay,
that covers it legally for that being 15 miles an hour.
okay, that makes sense. So it's 15 coming from the real school and then from Old Alhambra and through town, they're all.
Yeah,
Oh.
Old Alhambra, come Clancy Creek down up from Railroad in on North Main, they all have a 15 coming into that intersection.
Well, that saves having to put a sign there somewhere, because I don't think it would last very long, because it'd be out in the middle of the street,
Yeah.
in the middle of a parking lot.
Mhm.
Somebody's property.
Yeah,
There's-
and you wouldn't even see it if it was that far back, so.
Yeah,
Good,
it's-
no, that makes sense.
It's all covered legally by MUTC.
Now I gotta remember who asked me about that.
Yeah, I can't remember either.
Might have been Lighthizer, Dave, maybe. Good deal.
My question was, someone asked me, I am pretty sure Cottonwood's non-maintained, correct, on the west side? Or
On
do
the
you grade at
west
least once a year?
side, so we usually go across the bridge or to the bridge. But it's a pretty low priority road.
Okay.
So we usually, so yeah, from Highway 2 or 69, whatever you want to call it,
Right.
right to across the bridge. We'll hit that if it's real bad.
Somebody was asking, because it was sort of roughed up in there, but I said, I don't know, you got a sign up there, I believe it says non-maintained, right?
I think that's just beyond the bridge.
Oh,
I'll
beyond the
be
bridge.
down there probably tomorrow, so
Okay.
I'll just take a look.
Okay.
I know I was up there a month or two ago, it wasn't that bad, but that could have changed.
Right.
Yeah, and then on the other side, it's we gotta reevaluate where we wanna end our maintenance on the east side, so.
Right. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, we'll look at it. If it wouldn't be hard to go out and touch that up.
What about the school bus thing? The school bus, something that we,
You mean the ones the schools are supposed to go?
you know.
Yeah.
That's the subject, cause I just heard that again yesterday from, not from Sarah, from somebody at one of the schools.
We've got a transportation meeting tomorrow. We'll probably discuss it again, and we're gonna have to decide who's gonna take the reins on that. It's every bit of money they get, extra money they can use on that type of stuff. It's gotta be school stuff, so. Doesn't make any sense. That's probably the biggest safety thing to have.
You know, Corey.
Anything else, gentlemen?
This fence. I don't care necessarily that the fence is there. I don't care that you built it. What I guess the problem is, did you talk to everybody about it before you did it?
Yep.
That's all, that's the only question I had.
I probably didn't talk to Jill as much as the others, but I told her, you know, we're putting in a fence in because of why we were doing it. Mike, I walked out there and showed him this is the layout of what we're doing. And everybody knew what was going on.
I think it looks nice, except for I don't understand why we didn't block off the doors to it.
Oh, trust me.
Just because things are much easier if we get everybody involved at the beginning.
Yeah,
This
so,
Corbin Road would have been easier if we'd have got everybody involved at the beginning.
well, we did,
The
but,
fence is a smaller scale, but
you know, I also don't know why certain individuals don't feel like they can't just come talk to me when there's a problem.
oh, I think they can. The first I heard about it was really through the email from Corey that said, Bear, we got people come to meeting over a fence.
Yeah, but instead of coming to a meeting, they could have walked down the office and said, hey, what's going on here? And followed up on conversations we've had, and we could have avoided having to talk about it here altogether, so. I get a lot of conversation from individuals of other department heads going to my guys complaining about things that I do, because nobody wants to come and talk to me.
You're not the only one that gets that?
Well, I get it all the time.
Big and scary.
It's our cheery face, demeanor. There you go. Yeah, it must be that.
I'm always open to talking to people, because I'll be the first to admit that my ideas are not always the best, yet nobody wants to come and talk to me about them, so. But we've already seen a reduction in the amount of cars that are driving back in there and semi trucks. It's
I
been,
can tell you, I think it looks
very good.
nice. I was out there the other day.
and the fact that we were able to get somebody else to pay for it helped.
Who paid for it?
Some leftover grant money for that other fence,
Oh, gotcha.
For what?
for the McCarty fence.
Oh,
And there's a gate on it, right? And it's accessible
Yep,
for everybody. Is it a combination or?
we don't even have a lock on it.
Oh, okay.
It's a deterrent
All you ask is that they close the gate behind them, right?
on the weekends.
Yeah.
Yeah, until we start having more issues, we'll address that when we get there, but we don't even have plans to close the gate during the week.
Okay.
You know, on the weekends, we only have one individual that comes and goes, the solid waste driver. And he has no issue having to open it in the morning and close it at night.
So there's no
We haven't
issues if,
even, and we did not fence behind the shop to the other fence, so it's still clear access on the other side,
so if these, shipments or deliveries are coming in early in the morning, they have access into the.
100%.
They don't have to go through the gate, it doesn't sound like.
Evidently.
I just wanted to ask, in case it comes up again.
That's part of our fault too. I mean, you've been talking about this fence for
A year.
months, yeah, for a while, so. Craig, I don't know if we had the conversation since.
I don't
Craig's
remember
been
hearing
here.
about it. I think I remember hearing something about next to down the dollar store portion, but I don't remember the whole piece coming across. I went and looked at it this morning when I first got over here, but it's a nice fence. I wish I had one.
It's been a long process, because well, honestly, we talked about getting off that property 5 years ago. When I got a bid from a couple companies to do chain link all the way down and around it. That was within a few months of me starting with the county, because it's the only road maintenance yard I know of, including county and state agencies, that isn't fenced off. And we got millions of dollars worth of equipment and supplies in there that is open to the public. And we get people in there almost daily driving around sightseeing. You know, at least half a dozen times a winter, I got tire tracks and snow of people going down and taking sand out of our piles. We get people in the summer taking road mix.
Well, and don't get me wrong, I'm not against the fence or
What?
the gate. I'm just asking the question of how it happened and that everybody was involved. That's my only question.
How are we doing on our monthly meetings? Do we need to back it off maybe every other week or something, so we have a little bit more communication? What do you think?
I think that we've really been kind of off because we had scheduling conflicts for the last few months, but I think we'll be fine
Okay.
unless you need more.
Do you guys want them to send you something every week, or what do you think on?
I would say that if, it doesn't have to be this. This
Yeah,
is everyday road stuff that
Yeah.
I think everybody expects you to deal with. That's your job.
Originally, we did have, I said I would send a weekly report and I haven't done that, and I will do that.
So that might help, just
Just
so
just
that
an
way, if
update
we
of-
have any questions,
Yeah,
we
and
can come see you individually, or we can do whatever.
like I said, probably not this stuff, what the guy's been doing every day, unless there's highlights, but if we're getting any complaints or dealing with any out of the ordinary issues, I can just send a general email to the three of you.
Cause some of it, I think what Corey's getting at is, and me, is just something, if something comes up, just so we know about it.
Yeah.
Prior to that, well, don't just say, well, wait to the meeting.
Right, and
Yes.
I think also so you guys are aware that we do know of an issue that somebody might call you that we are working on or dealing with. So. Absolutely, I'll make a point of it.
And we can sort of work it for you, because then we can say, no, we're aware of it, so not to worry, we're taking care of it.
Yeah.
So we got you covered.
Just more communication.
So,
And Dylan's pretty good about, he'll contact me and say, hey, we're working down here today. If you get a chance, stop by and see what we're doing. And if I
Would you like to
can,
show off.
I do.
Over communicator here.
No, it's fine. I'd rather do that than, and if I can get a chance to get out and see what you're doing, I'm more than happy to.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'll make sure I'll put it on my calendar just so I don't forget to do it every week. Get a weekly report out to you.
But I think that'll help with not waiting until the.
Yeah, I agree.
I agree. We need to have this at least once a month, but
Yeah, and then we can always add another one if we have something that's a hot enough topic, we can jump in, do a quick thing on it.
And we
Was
have
that-
a good idea when Corbin's gonna happen,
Yeah.
this is when we're gonna start, let me know, so we can start
Yeah,
telling
absolutely.
people up there.
Yeah. Yeah, we're just making sure all the ducks are in a row and.
Where does that
everything's
emotion come from?
You,
Oh, it's not too bad.
yeah. Yeah, they just fill up to the port down there and bring it in on tankers.
the road surface pretty much ready to go for that.
We'll do a little touch up, probably the day or two before and week before. Just make sure it's nice and smooth. Other than that, it should be good.
Is the solid waste site up there, since you're going right by it, is it okay? Have you looked at that? I mean, I don't know if that's something we can hit while we're messing around up there.
Inside of the side or a little stretch of road?
Not the stretch of road, but the site itself. I don't know what it is up there. Is it dirt or
It's
gravel?
dirt, but I don't know that we'd have enough room to really get in and do it.
Yeah, I would really, that's
It's a
pretty
pretty
tight in there. That's pretty.
spot.
Okay,
It's
Cause
not bad. I
you'd
was
have
just gonna
to-
say.
it's not bad. Okay.
I mean,
No,
you
don't
could
worry
probably
about
do a
it.
couple in and outs, but it'd be a mess.
Okay.
Maybe
Don't worry about it,
dust
then.
wise, maybe sometimes, but it's really not bad. I was just there twice on Saturday. It wasn't bad.
If it's draining off good, it's probably fine.
Yeah, and we've talked with, what's the dude's name, Ed Tinker, that owns property right above there. He works for Lewis and Clark Road Department. We talked a little bit back at Mackers about being able to go in and digging a retention pond on his property, because all that water comes right down on that road.
Right.
And that causes that big issue across the fire department and everything. He wasn't opposed to it, we just haven't had a chance to follow up on it. We're also gonna, when I did the chip seal, it was all the way to Spring Street over to Corbin in front of the dump including,
So
so.
you have that road going across
Yeah,
there
it
too, yeah.
looks like if the road opens up right there at the fire department parking lot.
Cause I think that would help some of that.
It's like a big gully.
Yeah, not to mention it's kind of sucks blading 300 feet of road and turn back and forth to do a little section like that.
Speaking of big washouts, how's the Gruber up there? What's her name? The one that-
Pam, is it Pam?
Oh, the circle driveway.
did
Yeah.
you guys go up and meet with her? Or-
We went up and looked at it. We're working on some ideas. I mean, it's,
Yeah, it's kind of an impossible situation because that whole ravine drains right to that road, so without. Cooperation with residents being able to put retention ponds, something to slow that water down, besides just doing curb and gutter and. Having a contractor come in and put curb and gutter, there's not really much more we can do. There's a resident up there that I don't know, would be nice to meet with to see. If all of this property is running down his driveway, but the majority of the sediment coming out of that ravine starts at his driveway. So I don't know if it's just the sediment from his place or if it's the added volume of water coming down his driveway to our ditch, but
yeah.
without cooperation from people, besides curb and gutter, I don't know what you do.
But we went back and looked at the engineer's recommendations and. The biggest thing they wanted to add was a retention pond by that gentleman's driveway, but it's on the neighbor's property where he parks his RVs and it's not feasible. We had looked at the potential of running a couple more culverts across the road. And then doing a couple of retention ponds on the opposite side of the road to slow things down, but even at that, without the other gentleman fixing his driveway, it's still gonna be an issue.
Yeah, it's an impossible, it's just such a narrow through there, everyone's property and trees and fences and,
It was a bad design.
yeah, there's just no room for hardly any ditching or culvert. It'd be nice. Like Bear said, to be able to split maybe that water volume to both sides of the road instead of it's all going down one side, being able to split that. Maybe that would slow it down.
Where's the natural drainage? Is the road the natural drainage? Of
Okay.
the bottom of the
Yeah,
hill?
absolutely.
The road is right in the bottom of the drainage.
Okay. I didn't know if there was a little creek running next to it. So we're gonna be able to put Pam's part back together so she's happy? I mean, it's gonna get destroyed obviously, but.
Yeah, well, I don't think that, hopefully she doesn't. Hopefully they don't pave up to our road because she needs to be able to. She needs to be able to hold back just in case, culverts need to be changed in the future or
Yeah.
whatever. We don't allow people to pave up to a dirt road, do we, Bear?
No. If they pave right to the edge of the road, we're gonna catch it with plows and blades and tear it apart and tear up equipment. I understand her frustration with culverts, but we require culverts on driveways, so we can't really say you can't have a culvert. We just need to fix the water issue to the culvert so that it's not washing out. But the driveway should stop at the end of her property line.
Might not hurt just to touch base with her. I
Be
don't know when
nice.
she was gonna asphalt up there, but.
Be nice if those engineers would have just given us a plan and said, here you go, this will fix all your problems, but without partnership from people letting us use their ground, it's just,
And the ones up above that are causing the problems don't have the problem, right?
no, yeah,
They don't have. any
everything
problem.
goes downhill, right?
At the bottom of the hill. ones that are having
Suffering, yeah, yeah,
That's the way it is. It all runs downhill.
yeah, curb and gutter would be nice, but you're just talking so much money to make that happen that maybe people would wanna be willing to pitch in money to do that, but that's gonna be big money to,
It's a great
make that
candidate
right.
for an RSID.
Yeah,
Going
there
hard
again, the only
surface
ones
of
with
the
the
road.
problem are the three houses at the bottom, right?
Mhm.
Everybody else is.
There's other issues in that subdivision that
No, yeah,
Well, they
that's,
still have to drive that road. That's gonna go to hell if they don't do something with it.
Yeah, that's true.
when you look at the issues we have over, on that Roberts Roost and Vigilante on the other side of that road, there's more than a few issues in that subdivision.
yeah, the whole place. Yeah, it's terrible.
Bootlegger is a whole other
Yeah.
nightmare.
It's terrible to plow. We've talked about that before. It's dangerous.
All right.
Corey Clappin approached me and wanted to know with you, he's still in agreement with that, but he wanted to know if you guys would have to want to do an MOU. He wants to know if you have just an agreement between you and him, so to speak, as for,
For that plowing.
yeah, and all that, and follow through, because that way it opens it up for you guys to be able to work together and what need to be done as opposed to the council
Well,
getting involved.
I guess I kind of thought that would have been written into whatever the agreement was for giving them that property.
Yeah, that's what he asked me. He said it would be a lot easier, so whatever your
It
thoughts.
probably wouldn't hurt just because if he leaves or I leave, there's still still an avenue for down the road. So,
You want me to have him call you?
Yeah,
So you guys-
I gotta get with him too anyways, cause we're gonna.
You're gonna call him then, or you want?
I will.
Okay.
Cause he's gonna let us put a internet antenna up on their new water treatment
Oh,
facility so we can get internet back to the Whitehall shop.
right.
I traded him a cattle guard for that, so.
Yes, he told me about that. He was very happy about that. Okay.
That's all I got on that stuff. I'll give you an update on
Perfect, thanks, sir.
Houston
Yeah,
real
thank
quick
you.
after.
After we shut down, you done with the meeting, sir?
Just